This is Kayla. She has just started Year 7. She is more physically mature than her peers. She is great at sports, making her popular, and is great at visual arts, showing her creativity. She used to like maths and science, but fell behind after missing a few classes. Now she complains about forgetting class content and not being able to keep up. She doesn't talk much with others in her year. Instead, she hangs out with some of the older students. These students, however, have been reprimanded for illicit drug use in the past. Her parents are kind and supportive, but they can't speak English very well, making it hard to communicate with her teachers. Her parents also suffer from financial pressure. One day, she spoke with her teacher and said that she really does want to do better at school and do visual arts at university. But she desperately needs help.
Girls who mature earlier than their peers seem to find pubertal adjustment especially challenging and are more likely to experience the advantages. As physical appearance matures, individuals must navigate changing social norms and expectations, get more attention from their peers and mostly from the boys, due to Kayla's early gene that make her alienated herself from her peers. A girl who had gone through puberty early they tend to be bigger and taller than a girl who had not gone through puberty. The girl will stand out in comparison to the rest of her friends and will usually have a low self-esteem. Because of that, it leads Kayla to withdraw herself from everyone else and doesn't share any personal information. Early mature girls are usually rejected by their peers. Instead of looking for different friends within the same age group, they tend to make older and more mature friends. This can be bad for the less experienced and mentally immature individual. Even though Kayla's physical appearance mature, but her mind is not mentally ready to make decisions, and that may lead to risk-taking behaviors such as skipping classes, may taking drugs, show sensation-seeking, peer-motivated action. Hanging out with the older crowd can lead a teen into premature sex and drug experiences. Jett et al. 1996 had theorized that the female may not have had enough time to complete the necessary childhood developmental tasks before entering the world of the older crowd. They have had less time to form a sense of self, which could lead them in making bad decisions for themselves as well as for the future. The dramatic hormone shift connected with puberty may result in arousal, excitability, or excessive emotionality. Early mature girls usually do not know fully what is happening to their bodies. Parents need to understand it to help their adolescent cope with the change. Even though Kayla's parents really support her, but they cannot communicate clearly in English, and in this case, it may create conflict between them.
Kayla's results in maths and science have been affected by what she describes as forgetting class content and not being able to keep up. This may be because of the greater cognitive load placed on her by the more advanced content compared to primary school. As both science and maths have complex tasks and formulas involved, this may lead her to lose focus in class and thus forget content or fall behind. This is because her lack of focus causes her to be unable to form schemas which are necessary for recalling and applying information. The development of schemas for maths and science is crucial as they rely on previously learned content being applied in ongoing content. Furthermore, research by Huang and her peers has found that tasks with high cognitive load can lead to a form of anxiety, which may be the reason for her skipping classes. Other changes that may affect her are the physical changes in the brain which can lead to greater cognitive development in some areas while leaving other areas behind. These physical changes to the brain include processes such as synaptic pruning and myelination. Synaptic pruning is the process of weakening links between brain cells that are not frequently used, while myelination strengthens the connections that are frequently used. These processes allow for specializations of frequently passed tasks or information. Kayla's results in maths and science have been affected by what she describes as forgetting class content and not being able to keep up. Due to Kayla's early development, she would be experiencing these changes earlier than her peers. This may be caused by her skipping these classes due to them perhaps being perceived by her peers as uncool, or because she has developed a form of anxiety as she feels she is unable to complete the tasks in these classes. This would also explain why she excels in classes such as sports and visual arts, which are classes that may be perceived as popular by her peers and do not have as high a cognitive load. In this case, her missing these classes would lead to less development of the connections associated with the tasks of maths and science, causing schemas to become weakened or lost. This would lead her to begin to struggle as she no longer has the capacity to complete these tasks as easily due to the synaptic pruning between the connections and a lack of development of schemas related to the tasks.
Friends are a pivotal factor in influencing both moral and social development, as the two are often intertwined and build off of each other. Each person is unique and possesses their own traits and aspirations. In many cases, individuals can adapt and join a clique or group, but not always. Sometimes the differences and traits that a person has can exclude them from being able to join such a group. Through this exclusion, a person in early adolescence can develop social problems, leading them to be withdrawn and further unable to interact with their peers. In the vignette, Kayla was unable to connect with her peers due to her withdrawn personality. This led to her to expand her social circle, trying to interact with the older students in an attempt to join a friendship group or clique. This places Kayla in a dangerous social and moral situation. As Kayla is more physically mature than her peers, but not as mentally developed, it can lead to her being taken advantage of. The older students that she began to interact with have a history of illicit drug use. A major issue that often occurs in adolescence is bullying. While the vignette does not say that Kayla was bullied, she was described as being in Year 7, being more physically mature, and withdrawn from her peers. While it is not implicit, combining these three factors, it was highly likely that Kayla was bullied, which led to her to socialize with the older students in an attempt to at least connect with people at a similar level of physical development. In this group, she would seek to avoid bullying and seek informational support, instrumental support, companionship support, and esteem support. Informational support is advice and guidance in solving problems with friends, relationships, parents, and school. Instrumental support is help with various tasks such as completing homework, household chores, or lending money. Companionship support is relying on each other in social situations, such as school dances or sports carnivals where they might otherwise be alone. Esteem support is the support that friends provide by encouraging and congratulating their friends, thus building their self-confidence. Each of these supports are naturally provided by most friendship groups, but in Kayla's case, the older students might take advantage of her lower cognitive development and further pressure her into making poor social and moral choices.
To help combat Kayla's developmental and behavioral problems, we have decided to take a three-stage approach. These three stages are divided between the teacher, the student, and the school. The teacher stage focuses on a one-on-one conversation with Kayla. This would allow for the development of understanding between student and teacher as well as enabling a more effective learning relationship. This approach has been recommended by Needs-Focused Intervention from BehaviorNeeds.com. Further intervention that a teacher may actively take includes encouraging Kayla to continue to pursue her desire to study visual arts. By giving her a goal to work towards, she can be encouraged, and this may increase her participation in other subjects. Furthermore, in classes where she is struggling such as maths and science, the teacher can provide notes and help reduce Kayla's intrinsic load, as suggested by Ching Huang in her research. These notes provided in class would be intended to allow for Kayla to refer back to key elements of the content. In this way, if she were to lose focus in class for some time, she would be able to refer to the notes and not be left behind in her classwork.
The student stage focuses on what can be done with Kayla in the classroom setting, and can potentially be extended to the playground environment as well. One of the actions that can be taken by the teacher in the classroom is to create more group-based learning activities. By doing this, Kayla would be able to slowly interact with her peers in order to complete the set tasks. Some of these tasks might also need for the students to work together outside of the classroom, further allowing her to develop potential relationships. Developing social skills is not a quick process and needs to be slowly nurtured. By encouraging Kayla to interact with her peers, it would give her an alternative to interacting constantly with the older students. During this process, the teacher would need to monitor the interactions that Kayla has to ensure that there are as few negative interactions as possible. Andrew Malakoff, in his book Group Work with Adolescents, recommends that when using strength-based group work, the students should form groups that offer diverse opinions rather than have everyone always agree with each other. By doing this, the students will be able to tap into what the other students know and help each other learn.
The school style refers to the way in which a school may be able to incorporate events or promotions so as to have students with motivation and development. To help encourage students, including Kayla, the school could incorporate various events at an early level. The event could include things such as giving the opportunity for students to visit university at an early stage, as well as providing other potential careers by explaining TAFE courses and having individuals come in such as trainees to give an explanation of the job and what it entails. In Kayla's case, it could provide her with an understanding of what she needs to reach her goals as she states that she wants to study visual art in the future. This would hopefully make her feel motivated and willing to commit more to her study so that she can reach her goal.